Welcome to the Gals Guide podcast. Join us on an adventure to get to know famous and infamous women from around the world. Each of our presenters has a pick. Is she ancient history? Is she breaking news? Is she safe for work? Well, that's up to each presenter. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back. I'm Katie, and I'm joined by Leah and Bonnie, and we are spending a year focusing on personal and collective well-being by learning from women in history. This month's theme is rooted in self. Bonnie already talked about Janae Brené. I love
Beautiful.
her.
Yeah.
But before I share my pick, I want to ask a question about inner well-being. I would like to know, when do you feel most rooted in yourself? What situations, feelings, or environments help you feel steady, clear, and fully you?
Dun. I know. I have a couple. I feel like it's mood dependent. You know what I mean? Like what I need at that particular juncture. But most rooted, it's got to be meditation for me, because that really does center me into a lot of things. And it also kind of gives me clarity. I can lead into, okay, what emotions am I feeling, or what fear am I feeling? And just kind of look at it for what it is, and then be able to kind of either digest it or let it go. So when I do meditations and when I'm in that environment of, hey, I'm going to work on myself right now and try and find some clarity within this, I do feel definitely more myself, but also just better, you know what I mean? To be able to kind of, like, I'm not bringing baggage with me when I'm putting it on, other people and stuff like that. So, my meditation really, really helps. And luckily I haven't had anybody like, why don't you go meditate for a minute? It hasn't been like used against me sort of thing. So it has been one of those things where it's like, you know what? I'm feeling a little, if that's the adjectives for it. Go have a moment of clarity. I will say it used to be smoking, though, because that 7 minutes was basically my meditation.
Right.
So I've had to reform that into something else. And so now I take a 20-minute meditation. So, yeah.
Nice. What about you, Bonnie?
Part of me wants to say just snuggled up on the couch in a blanket.
I mean, that's
fair.
fair.
Totally fair. Yeah.
No, I feel like I usually feel like myself, except for especially, when we were wedding planning and I was in school.
Yeah.
And for 2 or 3 years there, and then we moved right after the wedding. Mm-hmm. We were, I think Trey and I were both sick between us 5 times between that October and December. It was ridiculous.
It was a lot all at once.
Yeah, just so much stuff. I did not feel myself when I was about to have a panic attack. Every other day, I'm just crying and screaming and having a toddler tantrum. And I'm like, this is not me. Because I'm usually a pretty happy person. But I was like,
Yeah. Well, you had the high highs and then low lows, and then, trying to find out what is the new normal. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it was a lot of shenanigans. And I was like, this is not me.
What got you out of it? What rooted yourself back into it?
Stuff, not I'm done with school. The wedding's over.
Yeah, fair.
We moved. We're done with the move. I mean, there's always stuff.
Yes.
And when there's not stuff, I find stuff.
Exactly. But completion, a to-do list is at least less.
I have, my own stuff. I was, I've been doing my genealogy stuff. I've been, I had all this crafts that I wanted to do. So there's always, stuff that I give myself. It's when other things get thrown at me. Because I know what stuff I want to do and I'm on my own little track, but then someone else wants something from me and I'm like, I can.
You have already allocated your resources to yo shit. You're like, I don't have any extra room. So sorry about you.
Fair enough. It also sounds like you're feeling more stable with your base.
Yeah.
you've completed things and you're in your good stable spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That could be the couch too in your covers. You're like, that is my stable, comfy spot. So I feel safe to be me, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about a to-do list when you're on that couch. It's nice. I agree.
So true.
Katie, what about yo?
Oh, I actually have probably a very honest answer for this one, but it's not the answer I want it to be.
That's fair.
If that makes, it's going to make sense because I'm going to tell you. I feel like I feel most rooted in myself kind of when I am getting positive feedback from other people.
Yeah.
When I'm with maybe friends and I'm getting people to laugh, or people seem approving of what I'm doing, or feedback. I've completed a job at work and I'm getting recognized for that.
Yes.
But I've also been working in therapy and I have goals I want to complete. And I'm realizing if I don't learn to do them for myself, like for my own self-improvement with my own self in mind for motivation, they're not going to happen. Mm-hmm. I can't rely on that external validation. So I would like to, I love this theme of rooted in self because I feel like I have not been rooted in self because I've been using that external feedback instead of finding it internally.
So it's a nice check-in for you to be like, let's try this.
It is. So, and it's like, I find when I do find it, I find it a lot with what I read.
Oh, yeah. So good call. Yeah.
I'm actually going to be talking about a writer, and it's not one I've read very much from. I've never read really any of her work. I kind of started a little bit today, but I would definitely be interested in reading more of her work.
Yeah,
she writes both fiction and nonfiction, because I think that is one place that I can find a little more self-reflection and a little more of that rooted in self feeling.
Yeah,
as I process it and think about how I relate to it, and can kind of like think about my own authentic feelings that come out as I read.
Nice. And that's what a good nonfiction writer will do, to be like, so how does this bloom in you?
Yeah. And even like fiction. I was pretty happy because I've already finished one book this year. And it was that one I was talking about in book club that was like on everybody's top of best fiction.
Yeah.
The Lily King book, The Heart the Lover.
Yeah.
And it's just fiction, and it's kind of a deep dive into a character and her feelings.
Nice.
And as somebody that kind of struggles to identify my feelings, even seeing fiction with somebody processing and experiencing things is super helpful.
Yeah, it's a path kind of that you can mirror
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Or you can kind of compare your own experience, or like be like, oh, wait, I've kind of felt that same feeling, and here's that time I felt that. So books are such amazing tools, guys.
I know everybody should read.
You guys know that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And if you don't have time to read, an audiobook.
Yes, audiobooks are amazing.
You don't dig on audiobooks, the woman I'm talking about today has a biography on Netflix.
Oh, nice. There you go.
That you can get some of her gems. So, I mean, there's stuff out there that you can consume if that's a way that helps you find that rooted in self feeling.
Yep.
So,
exactly.
Yes.
Sweet. So then who do you have for us?
I'm going to be talking to you guys about Joan Didion.
Oh, Joan Didion. Yes. Okay. Yes.
You know her.
I do. I watched a documentary about her.
You watched her Netflix documentary.
I did.
Nice. Well, then chime in anytime you want to, because I have not watched it yet.
It's also been, it's been a bit.
A minute?
So, yes. Okay. So, please give the good people a wonderful, and also me a refresher on Joan Didion. But yes.
Yes.
Complicated, lovely woman. Yes.
Right. And I don't really know all of her kind of opinions, politics, thoughts.
Yeah. And I don't know that I
agree with all of them. They do.
Yes,
I mean, because you're kind of seeing her from her youth until basically her death, because she worked until she died.
Right.
And she lived a very long life.
Yep.
So you're definitely seeing some like
turmoil times too. So
you're seeing like the full evolution of a woman here.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes. So I don't know her entire story, definitely, but I would love to experience more of her. I'm interested for sure.
Fair.
So Joan was born December 5th, 1934. in Sacramento, California. She did have one older brother who was 5 years older than her. I didn't hear much about him, so I'm guessing they weren't super tight. Yeah. She was from the very start interested in reading and writing. She was writing things down from as early as age 5.
Aww.
However, she did not ever see herself as a writer until she had her first work published.
That will do it. I mean,
right?
You're a writer when somebody publishes your book. Helps.
You need that, right? Like that's the official.
Yeah, I feel like with artists, it's not until you've sold your first work that you feel like it's officially a thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's how society kind of defines it. Which
once you get paid for it,
right?
Once somebody else says it has value, then you're a professional. Sure.
Not fair, but I get it. We kind of all buy into it right now.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
So when she was young, she was a shy, bookish kind of kid, an avid reader. She really pushed herself, though, to overcome that social anxiety and her fear of public speaking and being more outgoing. And it makes sense to me that she would kind of have that personality because her entire childhood was a lot of moving around and not a lot of stability because her father was in the military. So they're always moving even to different countries. She attended kindergarten and first grade, but after that, because of her family constantly relocating, she didn't attend school regularly. Sometimes she was just learning from home. So,
right?
Not a lot of socializing or official education.
It helps the introversion that way.
Right. So she said she perpetually felt like an outsider during her youth.
Yeah.
However, she did end up going to college. She got a bachelor's in English from Berkeley in 1956. And then during her senior year there, she won first place in the Prix de Paris essay contest sponsored by Vogue.
Ooh.
Which the reward for this essay, I feel like these days from 80s on, it's like, oh, you can have $100, $200 for your essay.
Right.
The reward in 1956 for her essay was a job at the Vogue magazine.
Oh, that's a good prize. Ooh, work for Vogue, yes.
I mean, can we just reinstate this?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, we'll just, I can write an essay or do the best coloring, like
yes.
photo, and I get awarded
that free
a job.
dinner. I want, exactly, a job at Vogue.
You don't need to go to school to become a writer and get a job writing.
Exactly. Win this contest.
You win the sweepstakes.
Yeah.
But she was awarded a job as a research assistant at the magazine. The topic of her winning essay was the San Francisco architect William Worcester.
Okay, gotcha. William Worcester.
So she was at Vogue from 1956 to 1963. So she was there 7 years, and she ended up going from promotional copywriter to associate feature editor.
Oh,
so she really worked her way up through the ranks there, and started having, her own articles published as well. She was also published at Mademoiselle magazine.
Nice.
However, she was really homesick during that time for California, and she was inspired to write her first novel due to kind of that yearning for California.
Yeah.
And she wrote Run River, which was about a Sacramento family that kind of comes apart, a fiction piece. And when she was writing that, she met and she befriended John Gregory Dunne, who helped her edit the book. And eventually they fell in love.
Ooh, they fell in love.
Yes. And got married in 1964.
Sweet.
So, yeah. Although I watched a YouTube video and it sounds like she was already in love with another dude, but he didn't want to commit to her. And then she met, I think he went by Gregory. She met Gregory Dunne and he helped her with editing her book, but her other dude was like getting her a publisher. But then like he was very distant, and then Gregory was like, oh, I'm helping you edit your book. And she just like fell head over heels and then ended up marrying him.
It was the 60s.
So we'll see. Yeah, right?
I
You gotta
like
do
it.
what you gotta
Exactly.
do.
She had two men working for her. I like it.
Right? Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yes.
She wrote some nonfiction pieces about the previous dude too. That the previous dude did not like how he was represented, so I don't think it was a great relationship. So. Yes. So, but Gregory and Joan had a really great relationship together that lasted many, many years until his passing.
Gotcha.
So they moved back to Los Angeles in 1964, which they were intending it to only be temporary. However, they ended up remaining in California for the next 20 years.
Huh, there you go. Shit happens.
West Coast people, right?
Mhm.
In 1966, they adopted a daughter named Quintana Rue. Isn't that cute?
It is
June,
cute.
Mhm.
I like
right? During that time, both of them, because her husband was a writer as well, they wrote for many magazines and newspapers. They found both freelance writing for both of them. They wrote enough to cover the bills. And this was
Nice.
kind of a quote that they wrote enough to cover the bills, allowing them to rent a tumble down Hollywood mansion, buy a banana colored Corvette Stingray, raise a child, and dine well.
Nice.
I mean, I
That's the
feel like
dream.
that's a good, I would
Mhm.
be fine with that as
Fine
a
with
wife.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yep. And it sounds like those were some good years, but maybe raising Quintana was a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
It sounds like Joan, like so many of us moms, really has a lot of guilty feelings about motherhood.
Yeah.
Like she tried, but she definitely struggled with it. And, you
Mhm.
know, you do your best, but you're still who you are, and it doesn't always mesh well with your kid. It sounds like Quintana was an interesting kiddo. I kind of love some of the information about her that I read. Um, that when Quintana was 5 years old, she phoned the state psychiatric facility in Ventura County to find out what she needed to do if she was going crazy.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted like a checklist or something. Yeah. No, it's fair. Science.
And
when
then-
you catch on fire, you stop, drop, and roll.
Right.
I mean, you needed, some instructions for if you go crazy.
Mhm.
And at a later time, Quintana called 20th Century Fox to ask what she needed to do to be a star.
Yes. I'm sure they had all the answers for her.
Of course. And at the age of 13, she told her mother that she was writing a novel to show you, which sounds like a teenager, right?
Totally fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So during kind of these earlier years, Joan is doing a lot of course, magazine articles, which would be nonfiction, but her novel writing and her screenplay writing, which she did with her husband, was fiction. Later on in life, she actually does write some nonfiction that focuses more on her family.
Yeah.
So that's more of where we get this information about her time raising Quintana.
Nice.
So I know. Her first work that was published of nonfiction was actually a collection of her magazine pieces about her experience in California, which she was writing a lot about the hippie counterculture.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of curious what this was. And from what I was hearing, it doesn't sound like she was necessarily, I don't know that she was against it, but she wasn't necessarily all for it either.
She was
like she was going a little bit
deeper,
right?
Yeah.
But I also have seen her being discussed as definitely a new journalism kind of person, being compared to Truman Capote.
Yeah, Truman Capote and probably
Norman Mailer, Hunter S. Thompson, Tom Wolfe.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I haven't heard about a lot of women mentioned in the same breath as them as a new journalist.
Yeah, fair.
So I feel like she was a critic, but she also was not. She's not a square, I think. She's definitely just like, I need to look at this critically.
Yes.
So that was a nonfiction piece of many of her magazine articles talking about the politician, artists, and just people living in America during that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Then during the 70s, she worked more closely with her husband, and they wrote several screenplays, including a film adaptation of her novel Play It As It Lays, which had Anthony Perkins and Tuesday Weld in it. Also, everybody's actually going to recognize this one, a screenplay for the 1976 film A Star is Born, which recently Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper redid.
Doing that one every 10 years.
Right.
Judy Garland was in it. Barbara Streisand was in it. The Gaga. Yes.
The Gaga. The two of them also spent several years adapting the biography of journalist Jessica Savitch into the 1996 Robert Redford, Michelle Pfeiffer film Up Close and Personal.
Mm-hmm.
So that was their work. The 1980s and 1990s, she did a lot of... she did an essay on a trip to El Salvador she took that was really, I think, critical of the United States policies and actions in El Salvador.
Fair.
But she also did a lot of fiction in that time that also kind of had a political leaning to it.
Mm-hmm. It was a political time for sure. Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Also, one of the things that's really incredible about her is she was one of the first mainstream writers that authored a piece that dissected the serious flaws in the prosecution of the Central Park Five, and talked about how they were found guilty because of the socio-political narrative with the racial overtones that clouded the judgment of the court.
Yeah, because they were black.
So she called that out and was one of the very first mainstream journalists to publish that.
Yeah, nice.
Then in 2003, her husband Gregory passed away from a sudden heart attack.
Yeah.
And at the same time, her daughter Quintana was in the hospital with pneumonia that progressed to septic shock, so she went into a coma.
Yeah.
So they delayed her husband's funeral for, I think, 3 months to try to get Quintana well enough to be able to go to the funeral.
Right, to process grief. Yeah, that was sudden.
Right. Mm-hmm. And she was able to go, but then at the airport fell and hit her head on the pavement and needed brain surgery after that.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. So it was after that Joan started writing The Year of Magical Thinking, which I think is maybe one of her most well-known works. And it's one of her first nonfiction pieces that is a memoir that's about her own life. And it's about dealing with the grief at her husband's passing.
Yeah.
And when she was out promoting this book, it was actually her daughter Quintana died from acute pancreatitis at age 39.
Tragic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And she talks a lot about how the book tour and the process of talking about this book and it being a book over her grief from her husband passing was very therapeutic for her.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about her is with this concept of rooted in self. I feel like a lot of her career has been her being in touch with who she is, how she feels about things, sharing that with everyone.
Kind of anchoring that for the things that she writes. Yeah.
Absolutely. But I think her being well known for the Year of Magical Thinking and her being able to so deeply and kind of objectively explore and describe and share her feelings dealing with grief.
Yeah.
And a lot of people finding it so deeply helpful is really beautiful because it shows that rooted in self, and it kind of even creeps over into our next kind of 3 months of being able to share that with the community to help other people process their grief too. Exactly. So I thought that was super cool about her experience and what she's been able to do with her writing.
Yeah.
She also wrote another book called Blue Nights, which addressed raising her daughter Quintana and her death at age 39.
Yeah.
So, and this is takes us up to 2005. So she's been writing her entire life.
Yeah. And she didn't really think of herself as a writer for a while, but she's a writer. Yeah. I like it.
Most definitely. And it was in 2007 that instead of writing for the movies, she actually wrote for the stage. And she wrote for Broadway and did a one-woman stage adaptation of her The Year of Magical Thinking.
Oh,
nice. And it was performed by Vanessa Redgrave.
Love Vanessa Redgrave. Ooh. Yes.
Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Love it.
And then the documentary you saw was produced, it was directed and came out in 2017 on Netflix by her nephew, Griffin Dunn.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
right.
called,
Yeah. And Griffin Dunn is pretty famous on his own. Yeah.
And it's called Joan Didion, The Center Will Not Hold. And in it, she talks about her writing and her personal life, and especially the death of her husband and daughter, and her 2 books, The Year of Magical Thinking and Blue Nights. So
one of the things that I, for some reason, always took away with me from that documentary is there's a scene where I believe it's the housekeeper says, "You do not talk to Miss Joan until she is completely done with her first can of Diet Coke."
That's awesome.
And I was like going, I feel that so much that I wish I could just wake up, go into the kitchen, get my first cup of coffee, and no one talks to me until that is complete, and then I'll be ready for the day. Never happens.
No, it doesn't.
But I remember watching that going, I love this idea. No one talked to Miss Joan until the first can of Diet Coke.
I would love to know more little details about that with her too, because I know I saw some information out there about that she has a very involved writing process as well.
Yeah.
And she like sleeps in the same room as the things she's written.
Right.
But that's part of the process.
Osmosis, yeah.
So I think there's a lot there you could dig into, but I haven't gotten into that. So anybody that's out there that loves writing and is interested by her, that could be a really cool rabbit hole to go down.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
She's got processes that work for her.
Right? Like trying to see if I can kind of skim to find more about it, but I don't think I published that. I will say there is mention of a notorious 1980s essay that was like some shade thrown at her. I don't know if this made it into the documentary.
Yeah.
Apparently there was an essay called Joan Didion, Only Disconnect by Barbara Harrison.
Okay.
Where she called Didion a neuroasthenic share. I think I mispronounced that.
Sure.
Whose style was a bag of tricks and whose subject is always herself.
Okay. What's wrong with that?
Right? But apparently, as of 2011, that essay still upset Joan, got her heckles up decades later.
Gotcha. There you go.
But on a more flattering thing, critics talk about that Joan is so important to people and reread so often because of the honesty of her voice.
Right. She's authentic. And whether that's complicated or wrong, it doesn't matter. She's authentic about it. You absorb what you absorb. Yeah.
But I kind of liked reading that, not because I liked that somebody said something not nice, but just that that's life. Yeah. Not everybody's always going to like you. And I think about, I bet Joan got over that comment. I really do.
Yeah.
Or if she talked about it, it was probably because she was like annoyed, but like over it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll bring something up because I think it's so ridiculous or so stupid. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
I don't know. But it's like, you also have somebody talking about the true honesty of her voice, because you're always going to have the haters and you're going to have the people that love you. But as long as you like find your own voice and you're rooted in yourself, I feel like you're pretty golden.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Take the people in that can relate to you. The people that can't, that's okay too.
Right. That's on them.
Yeah. They can find what suits them better, right?
Right, exactly. Different strokes, different folks.
Absolutely. So she has a long list of honors and awards. She was awarded in 2013 the National Humanities Medal by Barack Obama.
Nice.
She has a lot of writing awards, of course.
Somebody who's written as long as she has and as high profile as she has, and about political issues too. That will bring awards. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's all I have to share about Joan with you guys. There's definitely so much more out there for anybody that's interested. And I would love to see the documentary on Netflix.
It's worth it. It's really nice. I mean, I remember thinking, I'm glad I watched that. I'm glad I spent that time in her vibe. I feel like it does kind of stick with me. And Gal's Guide collection does have 3 of her books. We do have the Year of Magical Thinking. I remember when that one popped in. I can't remember if we purchased it or it was donated, but I remember being excited. Going, yes, this needs to be in the collection. We also have South and West, which is from one of her notebooks, and Slouching Towards Bethlehem are the 3 that are in the Gal's Guide collection specifically.
Oh, nice.
But she has lots more, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I started reading an article this afternoon of hers that was about self-respect. I think it was something she published in the 60s in one of like the women's magazines. It might have been Mademoiselle or something like that. I haven't gotten all the way through it, but so far I was liking what I was reading because it was definitely a message that kind of made me think of this month's book club pick. It was not about being perfect, but it was more like taking accountability.
Nice.
It's like, you know, kind of owning who you are.
Yep. Warts and all.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And, you know, not trying to put that on anybody else and accepting, you know, the mistakes you make and your flaws. And so, yeah, I'm going to have to finish that article up.
Yeah. Nice. I dig it. I like it. Yeah. Might even tie into the book club meeting later this month too. So
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
The imperfect. What's the right title?
The gifts
Brene
of
Brown,
imperfection.
The gifts of imperfection. Yep, I've got it loaded up on my Kindle.
Sweet, I've got it on my nightstand.
Aw, that's so much more romantic.
Isn't it though?
It is.
I have it in my Libby library as an audiobook.
There you go. Hit that audiobook. We all read in different ways and it's beautiful.
See, look at that.
Lovely, lovely. Well, Katie, do you want to wrap us up kind of for the month because our next episode is the big one?
That is true, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, if you don't want to do the final close, I can totally do it. It is up to you.
I don't mind either way.
You're like, let me find the magic of the script.
Well, yes, I was looking for that. And then my computer's also like, I'm going to die, which I did not realize that it felt that way.
That it's having its last stroke sort of thing.
Okay. Well, you have the nice voice. You do it.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Well, then that will wrap us up for Rooted in Self Month. Join us next week as we celebrate our 300th episode. It's going to be live on galsguide.org. So sign up for those exclusive giveaways. Have your questions answered on air. And we really hope to see you at happy hour. So thanks for listening.
That's another woven thread into our personal and collective well-being tapestry. If you loved learning about women's history or are looking for some self-care, discover even more community and care at galsguide.org. Until next time, keep sharing women's stories.